Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Every Day's a Train Wreck. I am your hostess, Marley Major, and I've got a great guest, as always, on with us today. She is a fabulous chef, and her name is Autumn Day. And Miss Day and I met on a cruise, like this basically networking business cruise. And I fell in love with her infectious everything, personality. You'll get it in like 1 second. But she just has some really great stories. And most importantly, I feel like she's not in California, but I feel like she should be because if I could just get her out here and she could cook all this good stuff so I wouldn't want to eat cupcakes all the time. So, welcome to the show, Miss Autumn. It's so good to have you on. And now we're going to have everybody check you out on YouTube because you've got your chef jacket. You're all ready and prepared and looking very official.
Oh, thank you.
So Autumn, tell us the background. Where are you based right now? How did you start cooking? I think you've got an amazing story, and just tell us like kind of some of the clients and some of the stuff that you do.
So right now I am based out of Southwest Florida. I'm right on the Gulf, and I have really great clients here. Some who are permanent and some who are here on vacation or are snowbirds. Originally, I'm from upstate New York, really rural place there, but
what's it called? Just in case we have any listeners, we might want to do a shout out.
Avoca, New York, in the Finger Lake.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. It sounds pretty. Everything up there is pretty, right?
Beautiful. Yes. And very fertile for growing. They have a really thriving wine country there. So if you ever get to visit the Finger Lakes, it's really great.
Okay. So how did you get from the Finger Lakes down to Florida? It looks like a different kind of finger.
Yeah, right. So I am a lover of the vitamin C, SEA.
Ah, yeah. I was like, wait a second, vitamin C. And then I was like, isn't that D as sun? And then you're like, yes, SEA. Okay, I got it. I was a little slow.
Yes. So I knew my whole life that I didn't want to wait until I was a grandma to move to Florida. I wanted to get a few more decades in than that.
I love it. So how long have you been in Florida?
Just about 10 years.
Wow. Okay. And so when did you start cooking? How did you start? Because I know this story, but our listeners don't. And I think it's pretty cool.
Sure. So I was raised on a homestead property, and my family always grew and hunted and fished all of their provisions, or they traded with the neighbors. Like it was very keepers of the old way type of lifestyle.
Right.
But that really taught me about, the connection of my food to my life and how that really has an impact.
Well, I love that. And what's so funny is that it's so trendy now, right? All this like, oh, you like grow your own stuff. So hearing you say that now, but you're talking about like when you grew up, but it's like, it might as well just be a rewind because that's what everybody's trying to do now. So what did you like? Did your parents farm, like fish, etc.? Was it just your mom? Was it just your dad? How'd that go?
It was both of them. They were both raised very from the earth, kind of hippies.
Yeah. I was raised are they Tauruses? Are either of them Tauruses? Or what are the other earth signs? I don't know, but I think Taurus is
we're a gaggle of Virgos over here.
That's right. That's why you're so like compulsive and like on it. Yeah, I love Virgos. God, I love Virgos.
So my father always hunted and fished. They had lots of acres right at the base of a huge mountain there. So my father always hunted every season, and they have a great stream that runs right through the property where they can fish rainbow and brown trout. So it was very easy to go forage in the woods for berries and mushrooms and, dehydrate and make jams out of things. It was just kind of the way that we lived. So like you said, now the like fashionable thing to do to learn how to can and dehydrate things. But like everything's cyclical, right?
Yeah.
Just
You're
like
like, girl, I
water.
was canning and dehydrating before. Yeah. So you literally, so that was just second nature to you. That's just what your
Right.
family did.
And it wasn't so cute when I brought my lunch to school in a like glass jar with the
Oh,
like
a
pop
layer.
top.
Right.
But now
And
everyone's
mean,
like,
well, now it,
whoa, you know all the ingredients. Like, yep.
yeah, you're like, I was Pinterest and TikTok videos before. Yeah, before it was Pinterest.
Right.
That your glass jarred salads and all that stuff.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, it just make it every time I hear like jamming and canning, I think of Meghan Markle and the jam that keeps selling out. So what did you guys now let me ask you another really random question before I get to the jam. If there's a stream that runs through your backyard and you fish, that's yours, right? Like you don't have to ask anybody.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, it's protected in that they won't let you like come with nets and stuff,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
with a pole, you can take whatever you want.
Right. So like you probably couldn't have like fishing expeditions over there, like part of your Airbnb, but you can take what you need or whatever.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. I don't know why because I'm just thinking I have coyotes that run through my backyard and I hate them. Just think I wonder if I could hunt coyotes, but I don't know that anybody would want to eat a coyote. But okay, anyway, so we digress.
You
So
can have
what
quite the coat.
Oh yeah, well, right. Can you imagine? It's like I'm wearing my backyard right here in Bougie Town. Like you actually probably could use guns. I don't think we can really even use guns here in California. But on another note, what did you guys used to can like in jam and stuff like that? Like what was the process? Did you do it all year long or did you just do it kind of in the fall? What was how did that go?
Yes, harvest. It was always at the end of August coming up here or September. Very seasonal because right up there by Canada. So
Oh, right.
really
So you're
cold,
cold.
snowy. Yes. The
Right.
parents still harvest all their own wood and burn with wood stoves only. No,
Now, these days?
no, sure. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I need to go up there. We need to do a podcast live from there, live from
Right.
the Finger Lakes, like with my fishing rod.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. It's gorgeous. In October, it's just like a postcard for sure.
So you guys would harvest at the end of August. And
Right.
so what was included in this harvest, right? Like it was
Tons of tomatoes,
got it.
tons of peppers,
Okay.
corn, pumpkins, apples.
Oh, right. Apples.
And my parents would host these days where they would invite the neighbors and
Yeah.
friends over,
Yeah.
and they would harvest like truckloads of corn. Everyone would go down to the field and they'd fill up the pickup trucks and then drive them all back up to our yard. And we would separate all the people who were working into teams. So one team would shuck all the ears of corn, and then one team would blanch it in a big, huge 55-gallon drum pot that my mother has that they put over a wood fire.
No way. Oh my gosh,
Then
I
the
love
next
this.
team would cut all the corn off the cob and put it in bags or jars, and everyone would leave with something for the freezer or something for their shelves. They would make corn soup and corn relish. I mean, hundreds of jars of Bounty. And then they would just do that again the next weekend with tomatoes and make salsa and tomato sauce. And then the next weekend would be pumpkin pie filling and apple pie filling.
Oh, so it's like by week. So like one week they do corn, the next week they do tomatoes, the next week. Oh, got it. That's so cool. So it wasn't just like, see, it just goes to show you how much more they know than I do. Cause I'd be like, okay, let's just pull it all off the trees and the vines and everything else. And no, so they had a plan. Okay. That's amazing. And then did the same people come every single weekend?
No, depending upon what they may have contributed to weeding or sowing or whatever they're interested in. Maybe they teach their children a different one of those recipes of preserves each weekend or each year.
Wow.
And then, some people would return, close family members who felt really invested. But then after those weekends or we did a major harvest, my parents would put an ad in the local like penny saver shopper, inviting the community to just come and take whatever was left over. in the garden because it was
Wow.
multiple acres of garden, so
Right.
large. And people would come for themselves or for their animals, really sewing back into the community from helping.
That is just amazing. And so that happened from, like, as early as you can remember, right?
Oh, yes. My whole entire life, it was just normal. And really, that's a normal thing up there
Uh,
in upstate New York, where school doesn't even start until after Labor Day because the
right.
end of August
Because everybody's working.
yes, and it's still farm town. It's still major potato harvesting, major corn harvesting that goes out on huge trucks. That's part of the industry there.
Yeah, I just harvested some potatoes here in Pasadena, California, the other
Oh,
day. I
great.
was like, "Well, here we go. We've got 2 kinds that are seeming to be ready." Okay, then how did you guys, so you mentioned a bunch of different things like corn relish or corn soup, or were you making those giant vats or whatever it would be, like, in your kitchen there, and then people were taking, or would some people just take, like, the bag of corn and go home and make whatever it was they were gonna make?
Some of both. So my parents had a room in the basement that was
Mhm.
all stainless steel that could be, we could do pressure canning and steam canning
Oh, that's
to the
so cool.
regulations that Ball suggests. And that's where the
Oh,
recipes all come from. Ball, the jar manufacturer, puts
right.
out a book that has had been researched and developed, so that there's some sort of
Method to
rules
the
that are
madness.
being followed, correct.
Right. Wow, I never even thought of that. Right, so Ball, I mean, we've all seen those Ball jar, like, etched on the jars. It seems like every jar in America is, like, made by them. Where are they based, I wonder?
I know that it's gone through a lot of different hands and that the
Mhm.
original makers don't own it anymore.
Ah, mhm.
They still keep that logo because, like you said, that's
Oh,
what
yes.
people know. Get
Yeah.
out your balls, we're about to
Right,
go cannon.
right, yeah, like grandma, yeah, like grandma and the pumpkin pie. Well, okay, so they put out this, okay, so then, and then so in the basement, and then it was all stainless steel and stuff so that so that you guys could cook and prep and everything down there?
Right, exactly. So that it could be, sanitized, and
Right,
because you want to be very careful,
right.
these jars of food are going to sit on the shelf for a whole year. My parents had a
Oh,
root cellar
right.
that was kept at the correct temperature and the correct humidity to keep some of these root vegetables without preserving them, and to keep all the jars at the correct, you know,
Right.
um,
See, I forgot. So now you're taking me back because my dad is from New Jersey, and my grandfather, who was my grandparents, who are Polish on that side of the family, came from Poland and to Ellis Island and were the total, like, they didn't have a big yard, but they had pears and apples, I think. And then I remember for sure the potatoes and the tomatoes and all that stuff. And they had a cellar. And that's right. It was dark and it was cold. And yeah, that's obviously where all the potatoes and everything went. Oh, I can still smell that cellar now that we're talking about it. It was like, I
smells
loved
damp,
that.
right? Like
It smells
leaves.
damp, but it's very, I don't know, to me, I absolutely loved it, and that's where all the fishing supplies and everything were all down there. So, okay, so then now going to Florida, I don't think anybody's canning and harvesting, right?
Well, not in the same way, but there
Okay.
definitely are lots of folks here because there is a very, you know, long growing season here in Florida. It's different than in the
Wasn't
north
it like a
because,
360 loop? I mean, when is it not growing season in
well,
Florida?
in the heat of summer, things
Right?
really get burnt out if they're not
Ah,
covered.
okay. Yeah.
So it's more like there's a cycle in the spring and there's a cycle in the winter.
Yeah.
So, like, strawberry season here is February. And then
Right. Oh,
we
right.
have a
Okay.
lot of mangoes that are coming ripe, in July and August. And
Right.
then in the wintertime is when you can grow the tender crops like the tomatoes and the peppers and the
Which is
squash.
so funny because, of course, for most of the country, that's where they're growing them in the summer. And in
Right.
Florida, you've got to do it when it starts to mellow out a little bit.
Correct.
Because my grandfather and my uncle, who was giant with the tomatoes, I mean, he would say there's nothing better than a Jersey tomato, and he would say it was the soil and I guess the humidity. Do you think that factors in from your tomato growing days?
I know that those are really important factors. The fertility of the soil really
Mhm.
helps them to be sweet instead of so, acidic. Like a lot of people can't eat tomatoes because it
Yeah.
bothers their stomach.
Yeah.
But yes, here in the South, it rains every single afternoon in the summertime,
That's
and
my
all
favorite.
that
Oh, I
rain
love it.
causes the fruit to split. So with the humidity in the air, it doesn't need as much frequent rain because the plants can just take
Oh.
care of the air.
Right, because they can absorb the moisture through their skin and whatever because it's right, because in California, let's say it's dry. I mean, that's the one thing they always say is like, "Oh, it's a dry heat." And I'm sorry, but when it's 110, I don't care if it's dry or moist or wet. It's
So it's more
too
like
hot.
greenhouse effect, out
Right.
on the coast.
Right. Of course, cuz okay, now I get it. Because the greenhouse effect is cuz the greenhouse is humid in there.
Right.
I love it. Okay, what was your least favorite farm situation to do?
Definitely butchering.
Oh, I forgot about that. Is kind of nasty.
I would prefer to not do that, please.
So did you guys like catch the cow in your backyard or what? Like, what were you guys? I mean,
Deer,
you could catch.
especially.
Oh,
Deer and
dear.
turkeys and bear, the gutting, the skinning, like bring me the deer already skinned and gutted and I'll
Oh
cut it
my,
up.
yeah.
I can make steaks and roasts and all that. But like please take care of all the gory stuff outside.
Are you telling me you people were skinning bears up there?
Oh yeah, for sure. My father
Oh,
still hosts a fish and game dinner every February,
with
where
bears.
he with bears and pheasant and beaver and deer.
Oh
Oh
my.
my
Okay, the
gosh.
pheasant
Everything.
and oh my lord, the pheasant and deer I can kind of get behind. I mean, a little bit. No, I don't need hate mail from PETA and whatever. I'm not suggesting everybody go and do that. By the way, I'm just saying that I can kind of get, but the I don't did people know you eat beavers? I mean, is that a thing? Like, have you ever seen beaver on a menu?
I have,
You
not a lot
have.
of times.
Because isn't like I would think of anybody like a beaver and a platypus or something like they would be totally protected species. I mean, I can't.
Well, there's a season for anything that is a nuisance somewhere. So obviously,
Oh,
it's a
right.
window where they can be harvested, is what they call it,
Right,
where it
because it's gonna be
maybe.
otherwise they're gonna overpopulate.
Right, it might be a week or 2, and you have to
Right.
have a special license and tags, so you can only harvest so many.
Right.
So it's not like a crazy everyone go pick up the
Right.
beavers on the side of the road. It's more
Can't
like,
even.
"Okay, we're doing this responsibly, and we're gonna source this, and then we're gonna utilize every part of the animal that we can, so it doesn't go to waste." We're honoring the animal.
Right. Yeah, which so it just dawned on me when you said on the side of the road. So like is roadkill part of that? Like or
No,
no. Okay. So if something gets hit by a car and you're harvesting beaver season, you're not like
no.
not you necessarily, but I mean like
The
people
only
are not
thing I've ever seen that was, like, hit by a car and then was taken by someone is a moose,
a moose.
because
Okay.
the car didn't do anything much. Like, a moose is huge,
Right.
like, enormous, the size of a car. So,
Okay.
I have
Okay.
seen that before,
Did
but
you see that
most.
car hit the moose? Or no, it was just you
No.
saw the moose after. So but did it kill the moose?
Yes,
It's very unfortunate. Okay, so
and it
the mo
totaled the car.
oh, okay. So did the person who hit the moose haul it off
No.
or no?
So they call the wildlife people, and
Okay.
then the wildlife people have a list of folks who will take the animal because
Roadkill.
it's a huge amount of meat. Well, they cut off the part that it was hit by a car, but when you
Yeah.
have a 500, 800 pound animal,
Oh,
even if
right.
you take half of it, it's still a huge amount of meat. And if you know someone who is going to donate it or is willing to eat it, then it makes sense. That's not for everyone, but we're back to the keepers of the old way
Right.
where
And now we're
nothing goes
also,
to waste.
right. And now we're back to, oh my Lord, skinning and,
Right.
okay.
No, not me.
Wow. How many people, I want to talk to one of these fish and wildlife people. I mean, how many people I wonder on this list for roadkill moose? You
I
have
have
any
no
idea?
idea, but I've seen it once and I was like, wow.
I would love to be on that dialing for dollars. Hi, Joe. You're the first on my list. We've got a moose on I-95. Okay. As long as it's skinned and prep. So how far does the butchering have to go before you're fine with it? Like literally like how like steak size, and that's when you'll take over?
Well, they can just bring me a hind quarter, which is like a quarter of the animal. It's already been skinned, it's already been gutted. It's
Yeah.
just the meat and bones. So it's
Okay.
more like a big old roast. And
Okay.
then I can cut it up into steaks or
Then you're
burger or
fine.
whatever else. Yeah, sure.
Now, okay, how do you feel about the feather plucking?
Not for me.
Okay. So I had okay, so just so you know, I don't know
Not
why
for
I'm
the
thinking
head
about this.
cutting, not for the
Oh,
bird
right, the
plucking.
head cutting. Oh, yeah.
Nope. I not really my favorite thing. We had a machine that you just stick it in and it plucks it for you. Has all these fingers
There's a
inside it. Look,
machine
oh yeah.
plucker?
It looks like a
Wait, that
cement
plucks the
mixer.
feathers off the bird.
It
Like you
looks like the
feed the
cement
bird in?
mixer and it has a whole bunch of fingers inside the cement mixer and you put the
No.
bird in already passed away
Well,
and
I
it takes all the
hopefully we don't have to educate people and tell them not to put damn live birds into this cement mixer for
it
birds.
says do not eat on the Tide Pods, okay?
No. Okay. So you put the bird, so it's probably like the engine of a plane is what it looks like, right?
Kind of, yes.
So you
Kind of.
feed it in and it's feathered, but it's still got its claws or whatever hook. I don't know what are feet, I guess. You
Yes.
put it in. Can you put anything in like a pheasant, a chicken, anything?
Yeah. Turkey.
It's oh, right. Okay. So this thing's got to be pretty big if it can handle a turkey.
Yeah.
Because turkeys are big.
And it's pretty strong.
So you put it in this rotation. So is it more like a
There's these little
massage?
fingers inside that are rubber and that the friction just pulls the feathers out. So you don't have to do it one by one. So then it just has chicken skin like you'd see at the
Okay.
store.
And then what
You
are they
buy a
doing
whole
with the feathers? We don't know.
composting.
Oh yeah, okay. I want to know. Yeah, now I'm interested. That's another thing I want to go path. I want to go down. I want to talk to the feather plucker people. It's like, what are they doing with? All right, so then it comes out. So it sort of shoots out the other end, and now it's just it's featherless, right?
Yes, it's featherless. And then you can vacuum seal it as a whole roasting bird, like a rotisserie.
Oh, right.
Or you can cut it up into pieces and put all the breasts together and all the thighs together
Right.
so that you can go to the freezer and get out a package of chicken tenderloins like a
Right.
regular person.
Now we're back to regular people life. Okay. I want the other thing I'm wondering is like they must have roadkill in Florida. Do you think they have a roadkill list too, or do you think people
Gators.
are just one the gators or the roadkill? That's the list. That's who's the top of the list is the Florida Gators. Okay, well that handled that. So yeah, so they probably don't even last very long. Okay, now yeah, I have eaten alligator, right? Is it alligator or crocodile that you eat? I've eaten one of them in Africa.
They sell alligator tail like nuggets a lot of places around here. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's legal to just go hunt them. I think it's a more like I don't know.
Like
I wouldn't want
if they tried to eat your grandma, then you could take them out
I
type of
wouldn't
thing?
want to try to hunt a gator. I'm really scared
No.
of alligators.
No, yeah. Okay. I wonder if they have like gator tail bits or whatever at the car wash kind of thing, like as a snack, or is this like a delicacy?
It's like at a restaurant.
Okay. Got
They
it.
make like little nuggets out of gator tail. They look like chicken nuggets.
What was the impetus for you moving from New York to Florida?
I just wanted to do something for myself. I had
Besides
done
skinning and tarring and feathering.
Yeah, I had done lots of community-based things my whole entire life. I
Right.
went on missions trips as a teenager to
Oh,
foreign
wow.
countries.
Wow.
I volunteered every single weekend.
Oh, wow.
So I really felt like I should do something
Yeah.
that I wanted to do one
Oh,
time. So I
yeah.
just got in my car and drove as far as I could until it was water, and then I stopped and said,
So
"This'll
you ran
do. This
into
is
the
the
Florida
place."
Keys till you could see Cuba in the on the horizon. And
Yeah.
okay, so that's pretty cool. Did you know like were you thinking I might stop anywhere along the way between New York and Florida, or were you like destined for Florida?
I was destined for Florida. I was destined for the Sarasota area.
Mm.
I went to art school before I went to culinary school, and I
Oh.
was a glass blower and an oil
Oh,
painter.
what in the world? Where did that come from? Did I know that? You were a glass blower?
Yes, I
You
was a
must like
fire
heat.
eater and a glass blower before I ever
No.
was a chef.
Shut okay, wait a second. Like a fire eater, like in the bikini for the like the luau's, or like what
Like,
kind of fire eater?
I joined the circus as a
No,
cheerleader and I
come
ate fire
on. Come on.
for real.
Do your parents know you did that? Like how do you learn to eat fire, by the way?
I went away to an athletic camp and they were training some circus performers, tight wire or rope walkers and fire breathers and all types of trapeze stuff. And I called my mother and I said, "Hey, I need your permission because I'm only 16. Can you please sign this form?" And she said, "Yes, as long as you don't do the trapeze." And I said, "You
Oh,
have
the
my word,
trapeze was what
Girl
her
Scout
oh
honor, I
my
will not do the trapeze." And
but
she
eat
said,
the
"Okay."
fire and the knives and the nails and all that stuff?
So she came at the end of the 2 weeks for the show, and I blew a 6-foot flame out of my mouth,
No, you
and
did not.
she screamed and fell down because
No.
she was like, "I didn't know you were going to do that. Like, you said no trapeze, and I was not doing the trapeze."
Wow. So she probably was like, did the devil just come out? Or okay, so what does that feel like when you're eating fire? I mean, we've hired those kind of people for events, but what does that feel like?
The fuel that you use, the equipment burns at a much lower temperature. So it's not very hot. Obviously, the longer this fire remains, if it were to catch your hair or something, it would burn you. But it's a quick type of thing. So it doesn't really burn.
Okay, so do you put gasoline in your mouth and then light it on fire? Like what how does it
Yes, it's not gasoline. It's a
well
different
what
type of fuel. It is very oily. So there's always someone nearby with a
yeah.
fire blanket just in case it drips down you, because that would all be fire too.
Oh
And then
my
you
Lord.
use one of the torches that you eat fire with and you hold it in front of your face and you spray the fuel as if you were playing a saxophone. So you put your
Oh,
mouth the same way and you
come
blow out the fuel and then you
on.
pull it away while you're blowing it. So then it's like a
Like
dragon.
like a taffy dragon. Okay, so holy cow. So did you ever like hire yourself out for this kind of thing or no?
No, I only did it at some festivals just because I can do it. Like,
My
if you can swallow
gosh.
a sword, you do it as a party trick.
Okay, so if I have you come and do a party or come and visit me, can you just like do that still or would you be freaked out?
Yeah, as long as I can get the fuel. It's not legal everywhere for obvious reasons. Because, but
Yeah.
some
Oh,
states, you don't sell it there. That's all.
oh wow. Okay. All right. See,
California probably does.
yeah, okay. Okay, I'm sure it's like organic blueberry formula. Okay, so you eat fire in your glass blower. And so
Yes.
how did you learn how'd the glass blowing come in?
So Corning is in New York State, and that
Like
is
Corning, like the dishes people.
that's right.
Okay.
And that is about 30 minutes from the town that I grew up in.
Okay.
We have a big museum there, Corning Museum of Glass. There's a
Oh,
large amount of gaffers, which are people who blow glass. It's a
they're called
pretty
what?
gaffers,
Gaffers.
correct?
Like a staffer,
So
but a gaffer.
right. So the glass blowing and the sculpting, with a torch
Yeah.
out of glass kind of was normal type of profession around where I'm from. Yeah, because it's a small place. So it's like, oh, okay, I could be a nurse, I could be a firefighter, I could just go blow some glass. Uh,
I could still
we had
blow
our
some fire.
we had our junior prom at the Corning Museum of Glass. It's just part of the community. So I always knew that I wanted to go to art school.
Yeah.
And I went to the School of American Crafts at Rochester Institute of Technology.
I actually know
And
that place.
it was an amazing experience. And now I use those same skills with sugar. I sculpt sugar art. That's what my hobby
That's
is.
I never even thought of that. Of course, that's like sugar is like junior glass blowing, right?
Right.
But that's right. I love it's like, do you have that on your Instagram? If you don't, you just need to have like, I don't know, like Sugar Saturday or something. I swear to you, you should just have like that would be amazing to see how you do that.
Oh, I haven't thought about sharing it. It's
But
just for me,
that
but I would love that.
no, oh my gosh, you should. I should fly over there and should do just like a week of videos. And no joke, because it is cool and you can do cool stuff, but I mean, it's not easy. I mean, right? Like you do that stuff with the sugar and I mean,
Yeah, I
you don't
have
have a
like
lot of time.
a whole booth that has these bulbs that are heated, and so when I'm working on a piece, I'm holding it underneath there to keep the sugar as warm as
Oh,
you can. You want to keep the temperature from fluctuating the same way that you do glass, because blowing like a glass vase is the
yeah.
same as throwing on a wheel, except instead of it spinning like this on a wheel,
Yeah.
it's on a pipe and it's spinning like this. So you have to keep the pipe turning because the glass will slump down. So sugar is the same way. You have to keep turning it so that it's moving evenly on all the sides.
I
And
didn't
then
know that's why, right? Because otherwise gravity would start just looking like a big drip glass.
so it's so much technique. And for me, that's the biggest difference in pastry arts and in cooking, is
Yeah.
that cooking is so much more of like a free form art, like
Right.
abstract, whereas pastry is more scientific, very specific temperature, time, ingredient,
It's
and
like
technique.
chemistry. Exactly. Like the reaction, you have a little bit extra of baking soda or something. I mean, and it's just a chemistry thing as opposed to, you have a little too much salt in something. Well, that can kind of be
Or a
rectified.
few degrees when you're boiling the sugar can mean it just cracks and breaks when it cools down, versus like you have this crazy thing and you can be like, oh, I have this dragon topper for your
Right.
cake and it's all edible, every piece.
Wow. So do you do a lot of that for your event?
I don't do it for my personal ones, but I do sell them to other folks
Oh my gosh,
who,
I swear to you, this should be your entire Instagram. I'm not kidding. I think could be so cool because you could get the edible glitter and all that stuff in there, right?
oh yeah, and there's a type of sugar called isomalt, that
Yeah.
behaves very differently, kind of like stained glass, and
How does it stick? Stained glass.
it stays much clearer than just cane sugar. It
Yeah.
also, the hardness of the sugar when it is cooled is different. It's not as
Okay.
fluid, where cane sugar, especially when it's humid, like here
Yeah.
in the South, I have a hard time using
Oh.
regular sugar because you just sit it there and it starts melting because it's 90% humidity, where isomalt sugar doesn't do that. It'll stay there.
Where does isomalt sugar come from? So cane sugar comes from a cane, sugar cane, right?
So does
So where
also isomalt. You can use cane sugar or beet sugar, but it's called an invert sugar process. So it's another one of those scientific processes where you add an acid and bring it up to a certain amount, citric acid,
wow.
and bring it up to a certain temperature, and it
Yeah.
makes the sugar much more durable. So it's been
Wow.
treated essentially. Like
Yeah.
wood can be treated, and then the
Right.
wood is much harder and more durable.
Okay, well, I didn't think this podcast was going to go here to fire eaters and bears and everything. Okay, so how does the ice malt sugar look like? How is it like stained glass? Like because of the reflections or because of?
Because it
What?
stays clearer. So
Right.
the regular sugar, say you
Like it's
boil the sugar
cloudier.
up to temperature, 240 degrees, and then you pour it out and you get like lollipop hard candy. But
Right.
little bubbles form in that sugar when it's cooling
Right.
down, where
Right.
isomalt stays clearer. So if you add some food coloring, you would get like a clear blue instead of,
Oh, right.
if you wanted opaque, you would use
Yes.
a metal hook that is
Yeah.
on the wall and you
Yeah.
would pull it. You'd pull the sugar like taffy and it puts
Oh.
tons of little air bubbles in there and then it makes it opaque so you can't see through.
Oh,
So
so
the
wait, are
ice,
the air bubbles are what makes it look opaque then?
correct. So if you get like a hard
Oh,
candy and it looks not, you can't see through it at all. It looks like an opaque orange, an opaque blue. It was probably pulled before it was formed.
never dawned on me, right? Because then it's the refraction points are going all over the place as opposed to you just seeing
Right.
right through.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that is amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I want to just remodel your Instagram and just see you do all of this. So how do you have the patience? I mean, that's the other thing too, because it must be kind of devastating if you're working on something with sugar and then all of a sudden it sort of goes south, right?
It's just like any other art project. The reward is worth the risk.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, you risk it for the biscuit, just like a stunt man. Like, because
Why?
sometimes you blow tons of, vases or cups or bowls,
Right.
and you put them all in the annealer, which is an oven that allows you to bring down the temperature of the glass really slowly. And sometimes you
Ah.
open up the annealer and it's all broken. And
Oh,
sometimes you open it up and it's like Christmas morning, like a kiln with
that's
all the different, pieces inside. You're like, oh my gosh, it's better than I could have ever imagined. But it's worth
yeah.
the risk because
Yeah,
the
so you
art comes alive.
that's really cool. So how okay, yeah, I never thought about it that it's gotta you duh, you can't just turn the oven off or down. It has to gradually, right? Because I would assume if it doesn't, then it breaks.
Yeah, the stress points in the glass or the sugar really just fault it, like the
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then once you've got that chink, night night.
You can't go back. It's not like you can be like, oh, well, let's just heat up that one spot. No, because heating
Yeah.
up that one spot, there's cool spots all around it. It's
Right.
all about like this dance with the temperature. So the gaffer would take the blob of glass out of the
Yeah.
furnace and put it on the end of the pipe and work it and then run back over to the glory hole and put it back in the heat because they
Oh,
have to keep it at the heat
that's
over
why
and
they're
over.
moving back and forth because they're okay. So wait a second. So they're going back to heat it up so that they can start manipulating it again. And then they manipulate it outside of the heat, right? So they
Right.
can do their magic and then it starts to cool down and then they got to go back. So that's what
Right.
that dance is.
So they constantly have to be like, okay, how fluid is it? I have to treat it differently in this 3 seconds than I do 4 minutes from now when it's much firmer and I have to really
Oh,
move the shears or the snips or
right.
whatever, however we're manipulating it, or heat it up and then come and shove it in a mold and then blow a bubble. So then the vase has all these awesome lines on the outside. It's
Right.
the whole process. And the same goes for sugar. So that's why specialty cakes and those sort of
Yeah.
things are so expensive because
Mhm.
the skill that it takes to do
Yeah.
something like that, they might have had to do five. You just don't see all the broken ones.
You're not paying for one, you're paying for yeah, you're at 5B by the time you get the one for your yeah, and that's why sometimes, like, in different weather and stuff, like, cakes kind of sweat, like, it's like little beads
Yeah,
or whatever, 'cause the sugar's
because it's
obviously
condensing. It's just
yeah,
condensation.
yeah, 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 yeah. I remember we were doing, like, we were sugaring grapes for something, and I remember I don't know, some component of that started going south, like, you have to use very, very, very fine sugar, and there's like I don't know if the grape has to be cold or if it has to have something, but do you know what I'm talking about? Like when
Yes.
they almost look if you do them right, they almost look plastic. They're really cool.
There was a viral thing maybe last year that was like sugared cranberries. They would
Ah,
put like
yeah.
lemon juice on it, but I know exactly what you mean. Has to
Right?
be very specific sugar or it won't
Yeah.
stay on.
No, it won't stay on and then it just sort of droops and it gets very sad looking. What's your favorite stuff to cook? Would you like if in a perfect world, if all day long somebody said, Autumn, I'm going to give you $1,000,000, you can cook slash bake anything you want, what would it be? Like, would you do the sugar art all the time? Like,
No.
would you cook bear? What would you do?
What I would cook would be probably plant-based,
Hmm.
because of the way that I can source those ingredients myself.
Meaning like
And
going and picking them?
yeah, probably growing them, probably picking them, or knowing the farmer or the grower personally,
Mm,
making a trip to their farm and deciding when it's going to be harvested, when it's at
right.
the peak of freshness. And I want to really make sure that I know where the meat is coming from. I have a lot of relationships with local ranchers and fishers, people who call me when they come in, with their grouper, with their lobster, with
Ah,
their
that's so cool.
scallops. So my menus are highly driven by what's in season,
Right.
what is, at the peak of freshness and ripeness. So my meals are driven by the flavor of the bounty that is all around me all the time. I'm so inspired by the people who are so wonderful at what they do, at what they grow, at what they ferment, at what they, you know, bake, whatever it is that they make. I really like to highlight those people in my dishes as
And
well.
I think food people, so like food people who prepare it, who grow it, who hunt it. I mean, it's so much more than just the activity, right? Of the sautéing or the pulling of the carrots out of the ground. I don't know. I mean, I try to spend as much time as I can in the garden and I certainly go out there when my head gets very knotted up. And it is just so much more than, oh, I'm trying to harvest passion fruit, off the vine. Like it's
For me, it's a meditation.
yeah,
It's a song that I sing back to the earth. It's
right.
my connection to the planet and the universe.
Yeah,
Like you said, it means so much more than just cooking and preparing the food. And that's why it's a mind, body, and spirit type of connection for
right,
me and for the people that I cook for. They can
right.
feel the difference
Oh, I think
because
you totally can. I think that's why I was attracted to you is because you like you under like you're not just like checking the box like, oh, it's chicken, but it's like, oh my gosh, this guy just brought me these chicken or something from the ocean. I couldn't just imagine like somebody just coming in with this fish that was not easy to catch, and it's like, oh, their pride and joy bringing
right,
it to you.
exactly.
Yeah, it really does tell a story and I don't know, I think all that stuff has energy. What fish have you not cooked that you would like to?
I really would love to catch a halibut and cook it,
That
be
is a
able to
big damn
fillet
fish.
it and cook it. Yeah, I don't know how I would ever have that opportunity, but it would seem so exhilarating to
Let's
me.
tell the universe. So where halibut are deep water fish, right?
Yeah, and I know it's a Pacific Ocean fish. I'm not sure if
Mhm.
it's Atlantic too.
Yeah. We'll have to check on that. Um, and why do you think a halibut? Because you like to eat it or because it's so big or
The way that you can treat the fillets of halibut, you can do so much more with it because it stays so firm. Where a
right.
lot of the Atlantic Ocean fish, especially Gulf fish, the flesh is very soft. So if you were trying to make like a ceviche or something and you were
Right.
marinating it in lime juice, it almost just disintegrates right away. It's such a soft fillet. What
Right.
halibut stays firmer, so there's a lot more
Right.
applications.
And then that's why you can have shrimp ceviche and all those things because the shrimp it's not going to sort of turn to mush.
Right. Yeah,
like
you could
that.
have anything ceviche as long as you're throwing it in your mouth. It's like right after you.
Right, right. Like, hi, I just caught this off the line here. Okay, now
Right.
is that do you draw where do you draw the line? Will you fillet a fish and you're okay or no? You don't want to do
Yeah.
that either.
I'll fillet a fish,
Okay.
much less of the yucky stuff. Still
Okay.
some,
Right.
you
Got it.
know,
Okay.
taking off the scales isn't very fun, but
Yeah.
there's nothing like fresh fish.
No, I know.
You can convert anyone who doesn't like fish if you feed them fish that they
Oh
just
God, you're right.
saw you catch and, fillet, because they know there's no funny business. This isn't
Right. Right.
all this
Well,
stuff, like who knows what truck it was in on. Not
oh
this.
God, yeah. No. Yeah, yeah, what truck stop it was sitting at for a while. Well, that's the other thing is people when they say they don't like fishy fish, and it's like, listen, fish should not be fishy. If it's fishy, it's not fresh.
Correct. It should
It's on
smell
its
like the ocean, like
on its way out.
salty.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yes.
and you can tell in the eyes too. If you go to a fish market and the eyes are cloudy, not a good sign.
Night, night. I remember that. I remember when I went to the fish market in Japan, and that was one of the things. And I mean, I've heard that, but it makes sense. Like if the eyes are clear and the flesh is, and firm and not, it doesn't look kind of grayed or like anything, not like a spider
Rotten.
web is on it. But yeah, basically heading that, heading that direction. Okay. And then what are your, if you could grow any vegetable, not necessarily because you like it, but just because you would like cooking it, what would it be?
Because I like cooking it. I really love potatoes. I could
Hmm,
probably cook it 30 different ways.
really? Okay, so let's start naming them. How many, like, what are some of the ways you would cook it? I want to do those like potato tornadoes. I mean, I'd never fit into my clothes, but I still think it would be worth it. Where they just like you just like eat them on a stick. I think maybe I'm gonna do that for Thanksgiving. Like everybody here is their potato tornado.
Growing up,
Okay.
we had baked potato bars
Oh
about once
yes.
a week. So I can probably make a baked potato 10 different ways.
Uh,
We would eat our chili on baked potato. We would eat
yeah.
broccoli and cheddar on baked potato.
Right, it really you know
Also,
what, you're reminding me, it really can be a meal, and the other thing too, we should, note is that your potatoes, where you were getting them, are from Amazing Earth. I mean, that
oh
makes a real difference. This is not like, Ore-Ida, 5 billion in a bag. I mean, this is like I can only imagine your earth is probably, like, black rich.
right, yeah.
Amazing. Okay,
So we
so
would also do like the twice baked potatoes where you take out the center and put in the cheeses and bacon
oh,
and
yeah.
then bake it again, or scalloped potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
My mother always made potato soup and then canned it.
Uh,
So it was like potatoes and carrots and onions and celery. So then
yeah.
you could just add any meat or fish or whatever to it. It
Yep.
turns into a chowder really fast.
Now do you like making chowder in general?
I love it.
You
I'm a
do?
soup gal.
Ah, okay, okay, and why do you like chowder so much? Because you can do so many different things?
It's very versatile, and
Mhm,
back to the using every part. So
mhm.
after I would butcher the chicken and then have all the carcass
You make
there,
this
would,
stock, yeah.
right, make stock and use all the ends of the onions and, carrots, boil
Yeah,
that in it with it, and make a nice consomme. So soups really use up, the bits and pieces
yeah,
of things.
yeah, you're right, it's very satisfying. There's
Right.
something just great about just taking the tops of the carrots and the ugly part of this and this leftover little piece of onions and turning it into something
And often
cool.
it's the best part. Like
Oh,
the carrot
totally.
greens are like where all the nutrition are.
Yep.
So if you use those pieces, you get the whole nutrition.
Well, and I have like a couple little hacks because one of the things that it's easy to grow here all the time is we have all these different herbs, right? And one of the things that it's like even if I'm in a rush and I get those bagged salads, but I just chop up some, couple kinds of mint or mint and some fresh basil and just kind of put it in. It really does kind of wake everything up. It's
Yeah.
amazing how you can just take something that's kind of like, okay, whatever, I'm going to eat this again today and then you add anything fresh and it just like, such a difference.
Especially if you grew it, because there's
Yes.
this connection that your body
Right.
has when you've like put out the energy and then took it back in. It's like a circuit. The
You're
way
right.
that a circuit lights up, your whole body's like, oh, we remember this. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and, yeah, you're right, and, I love that. Well, I'm now just hungry, and I loved this conversation. I could talk to you for a week. So how can they find you, Autumn? Like, what's your preferred method? Do you want them to go to Instagram? Do you want them to go where would you like them to go?
Yes, Instagram or Facebook, the seasonal bounty on both of them. And I also can be found at theseasonalbounty.com.
I love it. Okay, so any parting shots, Autumn? Anything you wanna go skin or pluck or cook or clarify?
I just want to encourage everyone to try and, be more involved in the food, where it comes from and how it's prepared, even if it's just one time a week or one meal. Try to regain that connection back to what you're consuming.
Yeah, and it does make you eat so much more healthily and everything when you're just preparing it. So maybe that's the great challenge is once a week, prepare, do something, garden, get a little more involved with what's going in your mouth. I love it.
Right, exactly. Be more connected.
Be more
People don't even
connected.
go to
Exactly.
the grocery store anymore. They get it delivered. So like
Right. Well,
be
that's pot meat kettle. And maybe what I'm going to do tomorrow is go back to my farmer's market and say hi and just kind
yeah,
of
Saturday
reconnect.
mornings farmers markets are
So
great.
great. Oh, it's so great. Yeah. And one of these days it'll start to cool down here. It hasn't yet, but one of these days.
I
Well,
understand.
I'm
Satan's
sure you
butthole.
do. I'm sure you do. Well, Autumn, this was magic. I cannot thank you enough for being on this podcast.
Oh well.
And everybody, go check out Autumn at Seasonal Bounty on Instagram and Facebook and seasonalbounty.com. And this is Marley Major wrapping up another episode of Every Day's a Train Wreck. Had a ball. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, please subscribe. Please tell a friend and leave a comment or a 5-star rating if you are so inclined. That's what keeps this whole thing going. And as you know, you can find me on Instagram at the Party Goddess. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Have a great week. And Autumn, I can't wait to have you back
Oh, thank you
another
so much.
time. Maybe we'll talk about bear popsicles or something. Okay. Bye.